Guys, Artosis here with another cast for the CasterMuse Narak Star League Season 4. This is a game between Beast, our highly aggressive Zerg player, one of the strongest in the new generation of pros, going up against Ample. And Ample's someone that I keep billing as a very aggressive player, and I still think that overall that is kind of his style, but we've definitely seen throughout this Star League that his Terran vs. Zerg has been filled in pretty darn nicely. Like, he's definitely shown some better macro plays, some better defensive plays, and it doesn't feel as gimmicky as it did last time he was in a Star League. Like, I'm thinking back to KSL and stuff, and when we saw Ample play in TVZs, it was almost comical. You just, like, rush up to stim and literally stim twice across the map to try to break Zerg before he had Sunkens, which, I mean, there's a time and a place for that, and it can definitely be a valid strategy within a tournament, but yeah, it didn't, you know, once you knew it was coming, it did not really work out that well. But, you know, we've seen a new and improved Ample here, which really gets me excited because he is one of my favorite Terran players personally. So anyways, the map is Ascension. This is basically 3-player Blue Storm. We see a wall incoming for Ample, very, very popular here. Here's the natural base. Of course, for Beast, his is going to be right here. Scouting his Overlord in the other direction. Being a 3-player map, you know, it definitely plays a lot differently. You can't really split it and everything. There's a lot of interesting features to the map as well. Honestly, for its time, I think Blue Storm was probably the best map that was made. It was just an amazing 2-player map, but nowadays, when you play it, it is a little bit imbalanced. It didn't hold up perfectly. I think it's like kind of playable, but not top tier. You know, it's not a great map like Eclipse. But Ascension seems to be pretty darn good, actually. We've seen a lot of interesting games here. The different terrain changes, the location of the expansions, the fixes of things like this little choke any units can get through there. I really like it so far. So, looking forward to this game. I hope it's a long one. We have the drone coming up and just kind of scouting this. He's going to have to start that Marine. Of course, he's trying to go for just a barracks expansion. And this is highly annoying when the drone comes and actually just starts fighting you. And he actually, yeah, see, he starts, he starts the second depot. So what Ample wanted to do, guys, is without any Marine, just make a command center right away on 15 supply. Instead, the drone came and harassed, and just the nice micro, like, he tried to force it away by utilizing 2 SCVs, but the micro was good enough that he was forced to make a Marine and then start the depot as well. So that slowed his build down pretty significantly. It's not a giant deal. Like, you're still okay as Ample, but, like, to watch, you know, it's these little things, I think, that help StarCraft to differentiate itself from everything else. Because it's like, well, yeah, his drone micro was good, and he made Ample just be slower on everything because of it. It's pretty awesome. So, brings back that drone, just has a regularly timed layer here at 3 minutes. He has speed started now as well, so getting the speed reasonably quickly, which I think, you know, that's the normal part of the build, but of course against a wall-in, you're not that likely to be able to do any damage with the Lings. It's probably more of a defensive nature. Now, with 3 Marines walking out, honestly, there's no vision at all of this, right? Like, we're following that. He has no idea. His Overlord went just down here. So these Marines, like, if there was an Overlord coming, if there were Lings on the map, he might be able to snipe those. Nothing was, though, and it looks like he'll just go home, but just kind of a nice move there from Ample. These are kind of the differences that you can see between pro gamers and then gamers that are just quite good at StarCraft. You're not likely to see them move out with Marines at a time like that, you know, looking for an opportunity that may or may not occur. Okay, the Spire coming up here for Beast. Very excited to see his Mutalisk Micro is awesome. 2 Barracks Academy here for Ample. So Medics starting, and this is an Academy rush. Okay, so this Academy is very, very quick, and he definitely looks like he's going to want to move out, and he does have 8 Marines total, and he's going to have 2 Medics. So this is going to be a good timing. He's going to be able to force Sunkens most likely, but there are some Speedlings out here. If the Speedlings, for instance, could take out these 3 Marines, that would make this push significantly weaker. Notice these are waiting here for the flank, and look at that. He's going to catch 2 Lings because of it. I love it. Just the small things, guys. All right, so now the push out comes. We have to see at least one sunken, possibly two here from Beast. A scan from Ample immediately. He sees that that just started. Stim is not done for him. There's a possibility he stims as soon as it finishes to run forward. That's something that he used to do a lot, but I think his timing is slightly off. I think that all he can really do is force this one sunk, and if he tries to push it, it's not really going to work out. The 6 mutas are on the way. Yeah. It looks like he's just going to walk away right now. Probably looking for the third base. You have to be careful, though. Like, against 6 mutas, you can kind of micro with this. But as that mutalisk count grows, he'll end up losing this entire force, which can be absolutely brutal. You notice the mutas flying over towards it right now. The third base is up for Beast. In fact, it's going to finish. He's not going to cancel. So this is going to be one of the more important fights in the game. Let's see what these Marines and medics can end up doing. The first 3 mutas coming over here. 3 more are right behind. Some Lings are coming as well, targeting the hatchery. Look at this. He moves his Marines in such a way that they're going to be able to fire on the mutas more quickly. Targets the mutas. Okay, allows himself to kill the Lings. Oh my god, this is beautiful right now from Ample. He's getting a ton of damage done, but the mutas are getting to just high enough numbers. Look at that. He tries to target the muta that wasn't in the flock to get a kill, and the hatchery is saved. I believe, though, he lost 2 mutas and then his Lings, and also this bought Ample a lot of time. The damaged hatchery probably won't come into play. Some people might think like, oh, maybe he can finish that off. It's unlikely he'll get back over here to finish that off, and if he does, it will be big enough that full health hatchery would die as well. But yeah, he slowed him down, right? Like, he's got plenty of time to get a bunch of turrets up. He's got his range upgrade done as well, so he can kind of add some support to some of these weaker areas like the wall-in. More turrets coming here. Beautiful layout, honestly, with the turrets and everything. The weakest area is these depots, but that's why his Marines are standing there as well. Couple starports on the way. 3rd barracks coming, just floating that factory. He's going to see if he can get some harassment damage done here, but Ample continues to add turrets. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with Ample. He's done a fantastic job, but you shouldn't take away from Beast, right? He defended against this push in a difficult position. I think a lot of Zergs would lose that hatchery. And now he's getting up into his Hydralisk den. So he's going to be going for probably a longer game at this point. I mean, there are all-ins you can do with Mass Lurker. But we'll see if he throws down the Queen's Nest shortly here. That'll kind of tell us what he's up to. If you don't go Queen's Nest, you're going to go Mass Lurker. If you do go Queen's Nest, you know, that means that you're going to go up to Defiler. Oh, and I guess there is one other thing, too. If you go Hydralisk den, sometimes you just make it to try to get your opponent to counter Lurkers. And you just keep making mutas too. I guess that's the one other thing that could occur here. All right, the mutas, as I said, this is the weakest area of Ample's base, is this wall. You know, the wall gives you a lot of stability early against Lings, but in situations like this where you're not able to have as much map presence because you spent your Marine force elsewhere, then the wall becomes very difficult to hold, and you can't make infinity turrets everywhere. So Ample right now, he's floated back his barracks. He's going up to 4. The muta's just getting in on top of this. This is more than 12 mutas here. It's a group plus whatever else he has. Jumping on top of the SCVs. He kills the 3 turrets in a matter of seconds here with that +1 attack. And now he's actually just diving on the Marines as well. We have a couple Valkyries making, but they are not ready yet. Ample just slightly out of position here and being mega punished for it. Still a ton of mutas left alive, a huge amount of damage being dealt. That SCV count dropping dramatically here. We're down at the same levels or even lower than the Zerg drone count, but now the Valkyries come out to save the day, shredding these mutas. So much damage put upon them. And they do have to back up. Okay, let's take a look at this situation right now. 31 SCVs, that's pretty low. He's got to produce some SCVs for a bit. And that's going to cut into his production. Like, you can't be building SCVs right now and have this low a number and continue Valkyrie production. He has a decent amount of gas. We should see a science facility starting, like, now. So that he can switch into vessels from here with that gas bank, plus they're cheaper on minerals. He needs to walk out on the map as well. Definitely very important to utilize these Valkyries while you have them. But we do have Lurkers on the way here. So we're going to see if those Lurkers, like, are done in time. It looks like they will be before the bio gets there. A lot of Mutas and Scourge coming for a counterattack. His Valkyrie's nowhere to be seen. Oh, this is a huge move right here from Beast. He's going to get so many SCVs. This game might end up being a quick one. The amount of damage is significant. But look at this. Ample is actually stimming in, and he's going to be able to bust these Lurkers. That's huge. There's no Nidus here. That means that this base is going to fall easily. Now the Muta's leaving to try to save it. I think that that is a mistake. Oh, well, I guess the Lurker can just kill 6 Marines then, and it's not a mistake anymore, because you are going to end up clearing this out and saving this hatchery. Clutch hold from Beast, and at least Ample forced, like, the Mutas out of his main, because he was going to lose. But he is alive. He is alive. Let's take a look. He did some good drone damage there. 24 drones to 32 SCVs, so he's got that economic advantage still. He still has his 2 Valkyries left alive. He actually got out of there immediately. That was great decision-making to move those Valkyries. We have the science facility done as expected. Irradiate on the way, as well as vessels. Getting into some siege tanks as well to deal with those Lurkers. It's going to be hard for him to push back Lurkers because his vessels are a bit late. But look, another counterattack. Beast is loving these counterattacks. The turret, once again, deja vu, not done quite yet. The Valkyrie's coming in, but there's a lot of Scourge here. Oh boy. Well, about 6 Scourge for good measure. Hit that Valk. The other one stays alive, kills off the other Scourge, and will force the Mutas out. So some fancy micro there. But Beast does swoop back in and get him. The vessels are out, and he's got a siege tank. So this mass Lurker push that was so scary, I think he's going to be able to just hold on here. The Lurkers, though, getting this burrow off, they're going to dive on top of the siege tank. They're going to take a lot of damage, though, from those turrets. And look at this. The next siege tank is going to be a bit... Oh, my God. This is such a choked up area. This is not looking very good for Ample right now as Beast continues to push forward. He has Consume on the way behind this. So this is not an all-in. He is just utilizing his giant unit advantage right now. Ample has spent 2 armies already on the map. So his army is a lot smaller. Throwing some irradiates down on these Mutas. Ooh, poor micro there for a moment from Beast. His Mutas are shredded. And the Lurkers continue to push. Ends up picking off that siege tank as well. The lifted factory means no more siege tanks for now. He's trying to eliminate the rest of the Lurkers. 1 very damaged Lurker, 3 very damaged Mutas. And that will be it for the push. But it was a worthwhile push, I would say. Now we have to try to take a look at where this game is actually at. They have done so much damage to each other time and time again. 36 drones against 30 SCVs. Okay, so definitely an advantage economically speaking. We have 4 vessels, no more on the way right now. He's a little bit gaslight. He's got his 4 barracks going. Let's take a look at the upgrades. 1-1, +2 just starting. So doesn't look super hot for Ample right now based on the fact that we're 13 minutes in. Looking over here, an additional macro hatch. That is the +1 carapace upgrade. So that's very, very slow as far as upgrades go. Oh, a nice spread here. Catches this little Defiler push that was coming over, right? Like this was Beast trying to sneak up to the natural. If you get to the natural with Dark Storm, the game oftentimes ends. So a good catch there. Gonna keep pressure on. Yeah, I gotta say, I like the game for Beast right now. Ample's not 100% dead, but he needs some help. He needs some brilliant moves to be coming out here. He needs to hit great irradiates, keep his vessels alive. Very important stuff. His army just not that large. Well, he is refilling some of these SCVs, getting that production back online. Slowly but surely, the Mutas just did so much work against him this game. Beast was fantastic with his army movement. Okay, a plague comes out. Ooh, gets the plague upon all of the vessels here. And that's really painful. Going to bring them down so that Mutas can end up killing them off. A nice irradiate onto that Defiler for a little bit of revenge. But this is where it becomes very crucial. What did I say, right? You got to keep your vessels alive if you're going to end up winning this game. Like, you need to retain them. You need to consistently be getting off irradiate damage. And, oh, beautiful Lurker spines here, killing off a chunk of the army. I think it's time to dive on these with your remaining Mutalisks. So he's got 3. He's got some Scourge coming up as well. Okay, the rest of their army's coming. This is a crucial moment. Can he keep these vessels alive? 1 dies, 2 dies, 3 dies, 4 dies. Oh, complete pain there for Ample. And now some Lurker spines, killing some of his Marine Medic, but he will clear that off. No more real flying units. He's killed off some Lurkers, some Defilers. But yeah, I like it even more now for Beast than I did before. But let's see. It looks like Ample has a little trick up his sleeve here. He's brought 4 Fire Bats. Oh, yeah, 3 Lurkers would just destroy this, so he does have to back up for now. A Defiler coming through that Nidus. As that +1 carapace done, continuing on those Defiler upgrades. Oh no, the Plague is so strong. This is becoming worse and worse for our Terran player. He's kind of recovered his SCV count. No, you can't do that. The Plagued units just obviously cannot fight, especially with the Darkstorm there. Only the Fire Bats would be doing damage. And I think Beast is kind of getting ready to take another base. He's got a pretty big bank right now. Oh, he stops the dropship that comes in, dead in its tracks. Good amount of Lurkers. Ultralis Cavern on the way. Yeah, and he can really just take this 4th base. And the 4th base is where it gets incredibly difficult for Terran. That's what you need is 4 gases. And then Terran doesn't have a lot of options, especially when you've already lost this many vessels. We heard a dropship die. You know, your starport is kind of giving you all the units that are going to give you long-term success in Terran Berserk. And so to lose them, it's so hard to replace. It takes a long time to grind people down with these science vessels. Well, he's got a couple throwing down those irradiates, but plenty of Lurkers here. Even without Darkstorm, he can hold on easily. More Marines and Medics coming up. Ample keeping pressure on this 4th base area, but of course that makes it very easy for Beast to decide where to go, right? You just send all of your Lurkers here. You send your Defilers here. You make sure you have some Zerglings. Coming up, oh, another Plague. Hits absolutely all the vessels once again. And look at that. Even runs the Lurkers up underneath that Darkstorm as well. More and more units dying off. The Muta comes up before the vessels are all the way down, so doesn't get those kills. The right idea, the wrong timing. Looking back at the main base of Beast. Lots of Lings and Scourge on the edge of his base. He basically knows the 2 ways he can lose. The 2 ways are a massive drop that does tons of damage or a busting of this base. So he's got tons of defense here. And he's got a lot of defense here. He's not leaving Ample really any ins right now. And you can see him starting to surpass him in supply, especially when you look at the fact that there's a 13 worker advantage. That means the army is much larger, much larger here for Beast. Another couple vessels go down. Great drop defense once again. Not a lot of defense here. Honestly, this is the weakest area for a Beast right now. That is the one area that could get busted. If you could bust this and kill the Nidus, maybe that's where you start to bring yourself back in. All right, comes over here once again. Another massive Plague onto Ample's army. And honestly, it feels like it's just a matter of time. Like, Ample is trying to maintain some sort of map presence, but you see that Beast is pushing him further and further back, grinding him down with the Plagues, keeping those vessel counts at manageable amounts. 4 red vessels, ouch. But Ample has taken a 3rd base. He's trying to take a 4th base here as well. We'll see if he can continue that macro. You can see really spending well. He's got the BC tech ready. BCs can be useful. I'm not sure if his economy is really big enough to make many of them, though. All right, another little group of units running down for a counterattack here from Beast. Ample fielding a lot of units here as well. Oh, the Defiler. Another Plague goes down. Keeping those units so low on health. Few Lurkers burrow up here. Oh, and they are just going to start destroying everything. Now, a couple Ultras kind of wastefully come up and fight against this massive Bioforce, so they get picked off. Oh, he doesn't have a scan? Oh my god, he doesn't have any energy for a scan there, so taking some extra hits. 10 kills, 6 kills. These Lurkers so efficient here for Beast, as if he even needs efficiency from them right now. You see in the production tab, more Ultras on the way. +1 ship weapons for these BCs. That's a really great upgrade if your opponent got Carapace. He actually did not. Not that it's a bad upgrade in that case, but it maintains the one-shotting of Scourge if they did. So kind of interesting that he's still getting it here. A lot of Lings and Ultras starting to flow down. Ample coming over with his army. Catches these Ultras right here. Might be able to get some good irradiates and whatnot. Oh, Scourge come in and do get another one. Good defense matrix onto that Marine. Beautifully done. Still stimming here. Gonna take out these Ultras. This is kind of, I feel like, almost a little bit wasteful from Beast. Like, I guess just buying any sort of time can be useful as well while he continues to drone up and macro up. But yeah, taking quite a bit of damage on that army. Going to try to run back, but it looks like he's going to kind of just lose all of these Ultras, all of these Lings without getting much done. Oh, the last second Darkstorm keeping two very look at that. 35 health, 38 health on these Ultras. Nothing left there. We'll end up killing those off. Yep, Irradiate finishes them both. More Defiler Ling Ultra attacks coming out. This is really what Zerg wants to get to, right? Once you have those 4 bases, Defiler plus Ultra's production becomes no problem. You continue to support those with Lings. There are a couple of BCs out right now. So these are kind of the big bet here for Ample to swing the tide over into his favor, right? If you're spending all your gas on other stuff, maybe those BCs get some good damage done. All right, Darkstorm's going down on this 4th base. Ample decides to just leave it, moving out with the rest of his army across the map right now. Ling Ultra Defiler coming up. Ooh, consumes a whole bunch. We can see a Plague and a Darkstorm here. There's the Darkstorm. There's the Plague. Pushing everything back. The 2 BCs still moving across the map. We, again, don't have a lot of anti-air, so the BCs might get something done. 4th base, though, has been lifted. Still keeping that 3rd base mining, which is very important here for Ample. Kills off yet another Ultra. Beast right now. I mean, he's still got his solid mining, right? Like, he's starting to run out of some patches. Depleted here. This one's almost depleted. So his gas is going to start to run a little bit low. That's going to be a moment where you're going to see Ample maybe begin to fight back even better. Because really it's all gas dependent for Zerg. You don't really care about the Zerglings as much. As long as you keep a big mass of Marine Medic Firebat, you kind of kill the Zerglings. It's when the Ultras and Defilers continually get in there, Darkstorm and Plague everything, that's where you start to really lose. So still holding on tight. Ultras still coming out. Oh, some Hydras being popped out here. And yeah, Darkstorm, of course. Darkstorm Hydra going to deal with those BCs without any problem. Some of the Lings getting inside the main base. Ultras trying their best to be a nuisance here. SCV's coming down, sent to another base, and it seems like attacks are absolutely everywhere. And unfortunately for Ample, his BC's being shot down while he's focusing elsewhere. Yeah. I mean, the BCs, they do huge burst damage, so very good against Ultras. And there's no Darkstorm or anything around. This BC does get pulled back. This gas now depleted, so we're down to 2.5 gases for Beast, right? You still mine 2 from a depleted one. So it's much more manageable now for Ample. He's kind of held on. He's got a big army. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with what he's been able to do this game, because it was kind of a nightmare of a beginning. You know, everything started to go wrong. He took a ton of damage from mutas multiple times. Still, I think it's Beast favored. He's taken another hatchery up here, but maybe if he can kill that off, you can hold Beast down on those gases. Has a decent amount of vessels out on the map right now. Another BC on the way. Ample trying to get another base up. Okay, this is going to be a tough one. A nice defense matrix there, indeed. Oh my god. But look at that. Just so many Zerg units throwing down that Darkstorm as well. Not a lot left here for our Terran player. Beast moving towards his base a little bit, but he's secured a 5th, which is something you don't even really think about in this matchup. But as those couple of bases do become depleted, you do want that additional gas. This will give him 3.5 gases, which is super solid. He's not getting upgrades that much anymore or anything. He's got them pretty much completed. So that's very solid for him overall for that continued production. Now, the Hydra's coming back up to fight here. Unfortunately, the BCs targeting Hydras get Scourge down. Don't target those Scourge first. So some good engaging here from Beast. Comes over with Defiler. Ooh, this is going to make it tough. Going to be able to pick off this BC, I think. Ooh, the Plague goes down. Not that big a deal. This guy was already very badly hurt. Now, where is the rest of the army of Ample? He's still got a bigger army overall. Just macroing beautifully on his Marine Medic. But he's no longer mining here, no longer mining here. So he's got one base. Yeah, he's basically on one base now. Still lots of mineral income. Only this one mined out, but of course over here as well. Throwing down mass sunks and spores. Beast seems to have solidified everywhere. Ample's still trying to get something done with these vessels. Ooh, don't want to lose those to these unupgraded Hydras. Definitely not what you're looking for there. The Defiler out here going to be looking for a plague, I think. Oh, throws down that Dark Storm rather than die. Looking for the plague, and there it is. Beautifully done. Gets two of the vessels as well. The army, though, moving up to this area. Going to try to target down this Defiler. Oh, the Dark Swarm comes down. He didn't even have his Sunkens up yet. That might have been able to kill that base, but everything is plagued at this point. Still going to be able to deal with these unupgraded Hydras, but double Defiler Ling Ultra. I mean, just a Dark Swarm is enough here. Throws that Dark Swarm down. Targeting down the Defiler does end up getting it, but just being massacred under the cloud. Still unable to really mine over here. Ling Ultra holding him off. BC coming up for that huge amount of damage to try to hold on. But Ample losing everything. You can see how far his supply has fallen during this. He's down to just 80 supply, 45 of which is SCVs. And I think that this is basically it. As Beast brings all the units down, it looks like he should be able to kill Ample off. But I tell you what, Ample played a very nice game considering the tough spot he was in. Beast, maybe, you know, being far enough ahead that he felt like he could just end it, allowing Ample that opportunity to start coming back. But it was not meant to be. And as he starts losing absolutely everything, I think we're going to be seeing a GG here. Right? GG.